Recently, I started to do research on investors' preference, especially on gambling preference on stock market. And I found this is a very interesting research area. And I'm glad that we have this knowledge transfer forum for me to share my research results with you and with the audience. Studies on gambling preference ask a very simple question. Does propensity to gamble and investment decisions are correlated? And the answer is yes. And how do we know? And we first look at lottery. It's a type of gamble. And lotteries are available in almost in every country. In the US, we have this Powerball. In China, we have social welfare lottery. And in Hong Kong, we have Jockey Club lottery as well. And the lottery has an interesting characteristic. They're low price and risky payoff, and a very small probability of huge rewards. And if some people prefer to gamble, how do we know they also gamble in the stock market? So Kumar thought a very simple idea to identify lottery-type stocks. And they are low-price stocks with high volatility and high skewed return. So in a way that lottery tickets and lottery type stocks have very similar characteristics. And it turned out that people who like to gamble, people who buy lottery ticket, also invest more in lottery type stocks. Okay. And lottery type stocks do not perform well. So if you buy lottery type stocks, your performance is going to decline. Yeah. And the reason is why. And to help understand more about this gambling preference, Barbaris and Huang build a model and show us that if we introduce a skewed security into the market, then investors with gambling preference will build up such stocks, such securities, because in their value function, they prefer a small chance of large gain over a large chance of small losses. So that's in their value function. So lottery type rewards value more to them than small losses. So because they tend to overprice the security, so they earn negative return on average. Okay. So lottery type stocks underperform because they are overpriced. In classroom, we teach our students the basic in finance is high risk, high return. Yeah. And according to the capital asset pricing model, the way we measure risk is beta. So in theory, high beta stocks should give us higher expected return. However, in stock market, high beta stocks tend to give us abnormally lower return. So this is a puzzle, and we call that a beta anomalies. And recent study by Bailey et al. Shows that among the high beta stocks, there are many lottery-like stocks. And so this helps us understand why stocks with high beta give us low return. Simply because gambling investors prefer lottery type stocks, and they are more on high beta stocks. Another study that look at death and jackpot. This is a very interesting study. Again, high risk, high return. That's the basic idea in finance. But studies that look at firms with high default risk, they tend to give us low return. So this is a puzzling finding. And recent study by Congress show us that stocks with high default risk also have a higher probability of give investors huge return. So the death and jackpot are positively correlated. And again, because gambling investors prefer huge return, so they build up the gambling type stocks, and which are also more likely to be stocks with high default probabilities. So what's the implication of studies on gambling preference? The idea is very simple. If it's overpriced, don't buy them. So don't buy lottery type stocks, stocks with low price, high volatility, and high skewness. Okay. And simply because lottery type stocks tend to overpriced. In other words, don't invest like a gambler. You are going to get low return. How to be the gambling investor? That's the second implication that we get. Because they prefer gambling-like stocks. So you can buy a stocks before it become a gambling-like stocks. And a stock split or stock dividend, in China, stock dividend is a 送转, 送股. And they tend to lower the stock price. As stock price become lower, the volatility increase. So stock dividend or stock split make a stock more lottery-like. And if you buy stocks that announce to pay dividend before the stock price adjusts, then you can beat gambling investor because they will buy later on. And I get this conclusion from my studies with two good friends. We look at more than 1,500 stock dividends in China. And we found that after companies announce stock dividends, number of investors increased significantly. Okay, they increased by 54%. And more surprisingly, investors with gambling preference increased by 119%. And the way they increase is right after announcement of stock dividend. And more of the gambling investor joining in 2-3 months later on. So you can beat the gambling investor by buying firms that announce to pay stock dividend in the announcement month. And you will do well because gambling investor prefer gambling type stocks, and they will buy it later on to push price higher. Yeah. So our study explained why many investors in China prefer firms that pay high stock dividend. So that's my presentation. And I hope you found my research interesting. Yeah. Thank you.